What's going on, everybody? Dan Unfiltered Reactions. Just finished watching Backlash 2020. The greatest match ever. Oh, man. Okay. Am I mad? No. Not at all. Not at all. Because, actually, when I started the show, I expected to absolutely be pissed off when I came on here after it. Because Vince is an idiot. I mean, he's a goddamn buffoon. Like, the moment he said, "Hey guys, let's start marketing this as the greatest match ever," someone should have slapped the shit out of him. That's a terrible idea. You don't do that. You don't do that. Call it the greatest match ever afterwards. Like, if they didn't mention that at all in the build, and then on Raw and SmackDown, when they show small clips and highlights, and they call it the greatest match of all time, fine. I would disagree, but fine. But to call it that before it even happens, you're setting them up for disappointment. Now, was I disappointed? No. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised. Edge and Orton, that was the best match. I can't say Edge has had in 10 years because he hasn't wrestled in 10 years, but that's the best match Orton has had in a very long time. That was a very good match. It was very, very good. It's by far the match of the year for me this year. But to go into it, calling it, and you have it on a poster saying it's the greatest wrestling match ever, just wasn't smart. Just wasn't smart at all. Because, like, come on. It's not good. We knew going into it wasn't going to be. It's not going to beat Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's not going to do that. It has no chance of doing that. And to me, it didn't beat Undertaker versus Triple H any of the times, any of the three. There's a ton. Stone Cold versus Bret Hart, like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. Kurt Angle versus almost anybody is a great match. But you get the point. Still, the reason I'm not even gonna destroy and shit all over the company is this match did live up to expectations for the most part. Again, I didn't have expectations thinking this was going to be the greatest match. I knew it wasn't going to be. And I think most of you did too. Like, come on. And it was really good. It was very good. A little long. I would have been okay with 10 minutes less. 10 minutes would have been fine with me. Speaking of that, they wrestled for 44 minutes. 44 minutes and 45 seconds. That might be the longest singles match in WWE history that wasn't an Iron Man match. I'm not sure, but I think so. It's hard to imagine another match going 44 minutes, and it's just a singles match. No Hell in a Cell, not tag team TLCs, not an Armageddon Hell in a Cell, singles. It wasn't even no DQ. Damn. And they put on a show. It was very good. Finishers, left, right, up, down, diagonal finishers, spears, RKOs, a punt, an Olympic slam, a rock bottom. Yeah. They did about everything they could possibly have done, and then some. Great match. It was a great match. The only negatives, maybe kicked out of a little too many finishers. It was a little kind of overkill. Didn't really need it. I'm gonna stick on what the men did. The two men against each other. Besides that, a little long. Shave between 5 and 10 minutes off, and I think the match would have been just as good, if not better. But I will say I was never bored the entire time. But, so the performers did their job. By far. By far. Kevin Dunn. or whichever producer said to pipe in fake crowd noise. Didn't ruin the match. The match was still very good. But man, it was distracting. It was too much. Like, you could... Look, AEW, when they started doing the... let's have some of the wrestlers from the locker room sit out in the crowd and cheer to make it feel like there's an audience. Brilliant. And it has worked to perfection. The best they could do. And when WWE took that idea, also has worked very well, way better product to watch and listen to than an empty arena. I think that's all we needed, though. When you started piping in crowd noise, when there's nobody there. Like, Edge's music, when he came out, got a huge pop. And there's no one there. It got a huge pop. You would think fireworks went off. It was kind of loud. Pretty obvious. So I knew the moment that match started, the moment Edge's music hit, that we're going to have to sit through a good bit of piped-in sound. And we did. It was a good bit, and it was excessive. Like, we didn't need it. Like, at least get crowd noise that sounds like only 50 people could make. It sounded like a turned-down big crowd. And it was just unnecessary. You didn't need it. Just let them beat the shit out of each other, in which they did. We even had Randy Orton get busted open. And I miss the PG-13 era. I don't need blood in every match or even every pay-per-view. But when it's a big feud and what is supposed to be a great, big type of match, it is nice to have a little crimson. It just is. It just is. It's part of wrestling. It's part of telling a story. This match got it early, and since this was pre-recorded a few days ago, I wonder if after Orton got busted open, because it didn't stay on his face long. It didn't. It was on there and pretty good too. But after like 2, 3, 4 minutes, all of a sudden it was just gone. It was basically all gone. So I'm wondering if, since it's pre-recorded, if they, took a timeout real quick, had a referee or a doctor quickly clean them up, and then continued with recording. Because I would have preferred the blood to stay on there. Let's let this be a war. I don't know. I'm a wrestling dinosaur from a bygone era. That's what I want. And that's where AEW has me interested, is they still are kind of PG-13. But overall, the match did not disappoint. The two men were great. And a bit of bad news is where's Wade Barrett? But some bad news is it appears, I hope it's not true, but right now, it appears and looks like Edge may have torn his tricep. That would suck. But it looks like he did during the match. That is kind of news that's being floated around. I hope sometime tomorrow or the day after we get an official announcement that was bullshit. He just pulled something and he's fine. I'm hoping for that. But right now it looks like he tore his tricep, which means he'd probably be out for the rest of 2020. And that'd be a shame for his comeback. His comeback couldn't have gone much worse, technically. He didn't get to have his WrestleMania match in front of a big crowd. And then in the sequel, the greatest match ever, he still no crowd and then gets hurt. That would suck. It would suck. But besides that, great match, and I haven't seen Randy Orton this motivated in a long time. That man's been mailing in matches and promos for almost a decade. For almost as long as Edge has been gone, coincidentally enough. He's had flashes. His feud with Jeff Hardy, he seemed to care again. And then after it, he didn't care again. And it was nice to see Orton give a shit. It just was. Because this match is the type of thing that reminds you, damn, Randy Orton is probably a top 10 all-time guy. And Edge isn't far off. He's probably top 20. You could make an argument for top 15. And if he never got hurt, Edge is probably top 10 right with Randy. I don't know. Great match, though. Great match. But again, not the greatest match of all time. They didn't need to do that. I would have been so ecstatic. I think most of the world would have been shocked. Like, holy shit, they beat the hell out of each other in a singles match. But when you hype it up as the greatest match ever, some people got their bar here, and some people's bars don't bend. Mine bends a little. I understood. I understood. But a lot of people, their bar don't bend. They want to see the greatest match ever, and it's just not going to happen. All right, pre-show. Apollo Crews beat Andrade. United States title. I'm glad Apollo won, because knowing WWE, man, I would have expected Andrade to win and then just hot shot this mid-card belt right into the black abyss. That's just what they do. They don't care about most of these titles. 7 minutes. I'm going to say the time for these matches so we can get a goddamn comparison to that 44-minute epic. Decent match, though. And, again, I'm glad Apollo's getting some type of push, some type of momentum happening. First match actually on the pay-per-view. Bayley and Sasha Banks. Triple threat women's tag team title match versus Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, which I still don't understand how that's a team. And the Iconics. Come on. We all knew who was winning that. Was there any... It had to be Bayley and Sasha. It had to be. Nothing else would make any goddamn sense. Nothing else would make sense. And I don't know if Alexa's physically healthy enough to go back to being a singles competitor, but damn it, I wish she would. I wish she could. I wish she would. I hope it happens. Nikki Cross, same thing. Go do something else. Do something else. I'm tired of it. They don't fit. They never really fit. Their gimmicks don't match. And they're not yet quite opposite enough to be like Rock and Sock. So, Team Hell No. They're not, it just doesn't mix. It doesn't mix. No. Cut it out. Bayley, Sasha win. Obviously, match went 8 minutes, 50 seconds. It was alright. I am kind of tired of the tag team in both men and women's divisions. I'm tired of the tag team triple threats, fatal four ways. Can we just have a goddamn tag match? Yeah. Speaking of tag matches, it was supposed to be a tag title match between the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. They've been feuding for months and months with their weird cinematic comedy shit. I'll say, actually, I didn't hate this. I kind of enjoyed it. I did. And I'm glad it ended the way it had to end, with them, instead of fighting, they teamed up and became the Viking Profits. Yeah, that happened. That happened. But I am okay with that. Let's see where they go next. Are they ever going to actually have a match? I don't know. It was just about a whole bunch of goofy stuff. Basically a mix of everything that they've done so far. They showed a lot of clips of their former stuff, bowling and the golf, the every time a security guard or a woman called what's his name, Ivar, called him cute, and Eric was not. That's all this was. It was enjoyable for the most part. Wasn't a match by any stretch, and I guess officially, if you want to be official about it, it just get counted as a no contest match. Didn't start. Cool. I don't know. The quarantine stuff's got Vince and them thinking they can just cinema everything, just try to make it all look WWE production. Like, damn it! Can we just do a little wrestling sometimes? Every now and then, fine, but they're getting down to entire feuds are like that. I'm just very fucking glad they didn't do that with the greatest match ever. I thought they would. I thought they were marketing it as the greatest match ever because they were going to do a whole bunch of cinematic, weird, boneyard match style things. Which I don't want that from Edge and Orton. God damn it, give me the match. Give me a match. And they did. They gave me 3 of them. Basically. So long. Good, but so long. And then we have Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. Well, actually, let me get back to that real quick. The ending of that Viking Raiders thing, it ended with them falling into a garbage dumpster. And a monster's tentacle, I think it was, kind of chasing them, going after them, trying to grab them. And then it just moved on to the next segment. Is that supposed to be like an... I'm assuming that's an ode to A New Hope, Star Wars A New Hope, 1977. Great movie. Classic, obviously. They all fall in, Luke and Han, they all fall into a garbage dumpster thing, and it has a monster in it. There you go. Skip to the end of the story. Has a monster in it. So that looks similar to that. I'm assuming that's what it is. Just very odd. Like, what the fuck? What a way to just take you out of wrestling. Like, out of reality. I want it to feel kind of real. A little. Wrestling doesn't have to be perfectly real. But be close. I know there's no fucking giant squid monster in a dumpster chasing grown men. Like, what? Whatever. Also, Tozawa made an appearance in this match as the leader of some ninja bikers. That's a sentence I thought I'd never say in my life, but there we are. And the Viking prophets beat him up. There you go. There you go. And some gigantic ninja. Some black dude. Huge. He looked big. I wonder who he was. I want to Google it. I'll probably Google it later. See who that guy was. He was big as hell. Yeah, it looked like damn LeBron James wearing a ski mask. The guy was huge. But, Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. Now, the build to this has been questionable at best. I don't like it. Like, I liked Jeff Hardy's feud in the past. He's done this a couple times about his addictions and his problems, and it's worked. The Sheamus one just doesn't seem to work. It just doesn't fit very well. I don't really care for it. And then they had the DUI, or he was driving while drunk and fucking ran over Elias, got arrested for it, and then just escaped. Like, does anyone care? Is Elias alright? Like, what's happening? Why isn't Jeff Hardy behind bars? Then they said it was Sheamus who did it. Well, why isn't Sheamus behind bars? Yeah. I don't know. Sheamus beat Jeff Hardy. The match was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was a little sloppy in places. You could tell Jeff Hardy... Sad as this is, you could tell it's Jeff Hardy's curtain call is coming sooner than later. He's not the same man he was the first run. He did the same normal Jeff Hardy stuff. It looked about the same. His swanton was fine. His whisper in the wind was fine. Was he have the poetry in motion? Oh, that's for their tag team. But you know what I mean. It was fine. But you could tell he was really tired. He slipped off the turnbuckle a few times. And I was surprised Sheamus got the win, though. That was kind of surprising. Because that feels like the story's not over then. When you have like a story that's personal like this, in wrestling, the hero, the face, always wins. In the end, in the final chapter. He didn't win here. Makes me think it's not the final chapter. So either they're doing this again at the next pay-per-view, probably with a stipulation online, or it's going to be revealed that it wasn't Sheamus. Maybe someone else hit Elias and framed Jeff Hardy. And it will be Jeff Hardy versus someone else. Something. The story just can't be completely over. Oh. Yeah. That long-ass match got me all dry. So long. Then we had Asuka versus Nia Jax. God damn it. It's like every time women's wrestling takes a step forward, like the tag match earlier. Pretty good match. It wasn't sloppy. And for a triple threat tag women's match, God, man, you just expect some sloppiness. It really wasn't. It was paced well. Then you have Asuka and Nia Jax. They never really seem to click. Asuka just herself doesn't really fit very well against another beast. especially the size of Nia Jax. Because Asuka, at her best, is the beast. She's not the underdog character. She broke Goldberg's goddamn record. She's not the underdog-styled character. She doesn't wrestle like it. So it didn't really fit well. And then the ending. Double countout. God damn. Double countout. I haven't seen that in a little while in a pay-per-view. And that's a shame. It's a shame for them, because, especially Asuka, because she hasn't won really definitively yet. She just hasn't. She won the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then she's kind of feels like a phony champion. Then she was just given the title. She didn't even have to actually cash in. They just, here you go, you're the champ. And ever since, she hasn't had a definitive victory, a clear, I'm the best right now. Hasn't happened. Hasn't happened. And that's very disappointing. So yeah, that's probably my low point of the night. Then we had, oh god damn, Braun Strowman, speaking of low point, Braun Strowman in a handicap match for the Universal title versus The Miz and Morrison. And I really love The Miz and Morrison. I do. That theme music though, oof. Their little song at the beginning, their intro theme, oof, not good. Not good on the ears, and it's not like I want to boo it like it's their heels. It just didn't sound good. It came off corny. They talked about Braun Strowman wetting his bed till he was 6. What the fuck am I watching? No. No. God damn it. At some point we gotta put our foots down. No! No. But Strowman obviously beat them. He's not going to lose in a handicap match. When was the last time a WWE champion or Universal, whatever, champion lost his title in a handicap match? It's probably been a long time. Probably a very long time. But it just doesn't happen, especially when it's a beast. Like Braun Strowman, of course, he won. Come on. They put a little stipulation that Miz and Morrison can't share the title. It's whoever gets the pinfall is the champ. Right then, once they said that earlier in the night, you knew how it was going to end. One of them was going to kind of screw the other one, and it would cost them the match, and it did. Morrison had the pin. It looked like it was going to be over. Miz pulled him off. Braun beat the shit out of both of them, and it's it. Match went 7 minutes. Cool. I'm just waiting for the day Braun Strowman turns heel. Been waiting for that for so long. Ever since the Nicholas bullshit at WrestleMania a couple years ago. He's not charismatic as a big man to be a face. In the history of wrestling, big men who are faces, you have to be charismatic or it falls flat. If top tier wise, if you want to be mid card, who cares? I mean, you can be a comedic big man in the mid card as a face. That's fine, Rikishi. But to be a main eventer and you're big, you either got to be a heel or you got to be really charismatic. Big Show could pull it off for a few months at a time. Again, very charismatic, funny guy. Undertaker, come on, super charismatic. Even for his time, Hulk Hogan, for his time, was a great promo, super charismatic. Braun Strowman, he's not great at promos. He's got the same tone in everything he ever says. Now they've got this thing where he's got this little Mustang, or I'm not a car guy, so I really don't know. I think it was a Mustang, but I'm not sure. And that car looks too small for him. He looks uncomfortable walking out of that thing. I don't know. I'm waiting for Braun Strowman to turn heel. I am. I just don't. Are they just gonna keep him face until maybe SummerSlam when they can do Braun versus The Fiend? That's my guess. Is they're just they use this just to burn time because they knew they had the greatest wrestling match ever as the main event anyway. And let's save Strowman versus The Fiend at SummerSlam. Hopefully the goddamn Fiend gets his title back. Then we have Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. I like these two together. I do. I do. Just like I like Lashley and MVP as a group, I like McIntyre versus Bobby. They have good chemistry. Watching it reminded me of TNA, but normally that's a bad thing. This wasn't a bad thing. Because when I did watch TNA, they were usually the best thing on it. Was Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and EC3. Who the fuck knows where EC3 is? But at least these two were in a WWE title match. And McIntyre wins. We knew that was going to happen. But, great match. Good chemistry. Okay, I won't say great. Good match. Very good chemistry. I'd be okay to see it again. I'm okay to see it again. And McIntyre didn't even win definitively. Bobby looked great. He looked great. He looked like he was going to win. It took Lana coming out and distracting, of course, and screwing him. Accidentally screwing Bobby Lashley. But it looked like he was going to win. I mean, kayfabe-wise, it looked like he was going to win. So that they made him look really strong. And that's what's we need Bobby to look strong. Because someday, god damn it, Bobby Lashley needs to face Brock Lesnar. Bobby's been trying to do that for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Face Brock Lesnar. He came back. He had that damn happy, smiling sister, I love my sister's gimmick. That was shit. And he can't face Brock with looking like that. He looked stupid. Now he kind of looks like a beast. Maybe SummerSlam, I could see Bobby Lashley versus, just throwing it out there, Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Number one contender. Winner faces, probably it'll be Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre next pay-per-view. Hell in a Cell, probably. And then you have just Brock beat Lashley in a good matchup of monsters. That would be sweet. But this match is pretty good. McIntyre wins. And the best thing to come out of this goddamn whole pay-per-view, Lana and Lashley should be done. This looks like the last straw. So, as long as that's it. And Lana just, have you noticed Lana's getting less and less attractive every time you see her? She just is. Her hairline's moving downward. It's like almost where my hat is on mine. Like, what the fuck? It's clearly not natural. It looks ridiculous. It's like this. That's her hairline. It's all just, she's clearly wearing a wig. That's not how you wear wigs. You put them. Hey, I've been with enough women. I know how things work. And hers looks a goddamn mess. It looked like a mess. Go back to the Ravishing Russian. I miss her. I know Rusev is gone. God damn it. But go back to her. Find some other Cesaro. Go with Cesaro. That'd be sweet. That would mix. I'm cool with that. Then we had main event. Orton versus Edge. Talked about it earlier. Great match. It was. Not the greatest match of all time, but a very good match. So far, the match of the year. So, because it was still that good, I'm going to just say, fuck it. 70-year-old man, you can have it. Call it the greatest match ever. You can have it. I don't care. I'm not gonna kick the shit out of you this time. It's okay. The match, it was very, very good. And hopefully, Edge is okay, and hopefully the reports are a little premature. Because that would suck. That would suck. Let me know down below, guys. What do you guys think of this show? And I think from now on, I'm going to start going live. So you guys can talk if you want. Or if not, if you're not able to do it live, then you'll look the same as this. So it won't change anything anyway. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hit the like, subscribe, tell other wrestling fans about the channel. Let's try to get this thing to spread. Greatest wrestling match of all time. Not quite, but I'm not mad. If you are still here, you are a real one.